Jesus Christ, you people suck.
Wow.
Wolverine on it.
Back in the days when we played video games, it was hardcore for the nerdy and lazy. Now things have changed and all our video games are also for the casual and lady.
But that's okay, you know the score. We told you a million times before. Playing consoles, not just games, is in the past. And every week you listen to the best damn internet radio crew. It's the N4G podcast. It's the N4G podcast.
Alright, it's time for the episode of N4G Radio. Episode 620 for September 21st, 2020. Console price watch is over. All the consoles have prices. And on the show this week, as I mentioned on Twitter, it's going to be a short, kind of focused show. But on the show this week, we have Drew,
Yes, I am here.
and we have a Jay.
Buongiorno.
And that's it. And I mean, I ain't even gonna fuck around. We're just gonna talk about video game consoles because
yeah.
it's,
I was about to say,
yeah, like literally that's gonna be the only topic. We're not gonna talk about games. We're not gonna talk about any of these. But the funny part about all of this is we finally have prices. We finally know when they're coming out. Motherfuckers, this shit. The Xbox is out in like 52 days.
Oh, man. So
And
quick.
Yeah, and the PS5 is out in what 54 days.
yeah, it's 2 days later.
Yeah. So
So there's
Wow.
one thing I do have to mention,
go ahead.
because I went back and listened to last week's episode, and John mentioned that he believes that they're going to start pre-orders. He said September 20-something.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned they won't do it that soon. They'll have to, let it stew for a little bit. How about the day of they announced this freaking system?
So, yeah, one of the things that a lot of people were yelling at me on Twitter for pointing out was there was an interview with Eric Limpel a couple months ago, and he said we won't just drop pre-orders without notice. You lying motherfucker!
So can we all agree that Sony has kind of slightly lied to everybody, pretty much?
Oh, Sony's lied several times. We'll talk about all of their lies in this show.
Yeah, because there's a lot to go over.
I think-
Like Miles Morales, it's just too powerful. I don't think he'll be able to run on the PlayStation 4. What? Coming to PlayStation 4?
What's funny is if you look at the we kind of joked about this before all the details came out, but do you remember how we were like, whoever wins the last generation gets all super arrogant? This messaging feels a lot like Xbox circa 2013. We're going to tell you one thing, and then we're going to do something else, and it's just bad messaging.
You mean Sony 2013?
Sony this time, but
Yeah.
circa Xbox 2013 when they were like, oh, well, we've
right.
got a system for that, and, all this other bullshit.
Right.
It's just, no, Drew, you're totally right. Like, hearing the comment from Jim Ryan saying, we believe in generations. But, they were talking like Spider-Man and Horizon and stuff like that was like way too powerful. It's only possible on a next-gen console. And then they announced Spider-Man and Horizon both coming to PS4.
The Spider-Man I saw coming, but I didn't think Horizon would be able to be on PS4, at least with the stuff that they were trying to do, or I thought they were allegedly going to do with the game, because we haven't seen any actual gameplay, right? It's all captured, rendered within PS5, so it's hard to say. And when you're talking about these cross-generational games, which both consoles have a decent chunk of during the launch phase, you have to wonder, is the game's actual original intent going to be compromised because of it, right? Like, it's the only game that's coming out to PS5 that's not coming to PS4 on launch is Demon's Souls, and that's basically it, right?
That stupid, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say stupid, I haven't played it, but that racing, like, car combat game. I don't even remember what the hell that
Oh,
thing's called.
the destruction something,
I
right?
don't think that's coming to PS4, but I could totally be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, that game. I mean, honestly, that game looked kind of neat when I saw the trailer. It looks like it'll be fun. Nothing, nothing crazy to write about. But that's just kind of, I think that's where we are in the generational leap of things. I feel like because of the ridiculous install base of the PS4 right now, the publishers and developers of these games putting it out for specifically for PS5 only is going to be a huge gamble for them, especially if it's a AAA title. So a game like Horizon probably would do okay enough if they just released a PS5, but they're going to get way more sales on PS4 than they are on PS5, at least in the first year,
Absolutely. When
Yeah.
when Microsoft said that they were doing cross-gen, I was like, that's smart, because you don't just let go of tens of millions of an install base.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, why would... When Sony first said Spider-Man Miles Morales is not on PS4, I was like, you're fucking crazy. That thing would print money on PS4.
Yeah.
Like, that thing would sell millions. Spider-Man on PS4 was like the best-selling first-party game this generation. Why would you not put the follow-up on the PS4?
And
Right.
the reverse to that is what makes the Series X so enticing to me is the fact that every single thing that I currently own, I can automatically start playing. I have a full library of games that, let's be honest, I have never played because I have a backlog that will kill me eventually. But I have Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I've never booted up. Day one, I can play it on my Series X and not have to worry about anything.
And not only that, but it gets upgrades just based on the console. That's the one thing that I'm really excited about when I get my Series X is booting up a bunch of these old games that had severe issues or were kind of hampered by 30 FPS,
Right.
and seeing them run at full 4K resolution, 60 frames a second.
Yeah, as everyone knows, I have completed The Witcher 3, but you best believe I'm going to be installing The Witcher 3 on my Series X just to see what it looks like.
As soon as they put it won't be till next year, but it will get some improvements just out of the box, like the frame rate will improve. But next year they're actually going back in and adding like ray tracing and shit to The Witcher 3.
God, man.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
It's pretty nice.
Oh, wow, I can tell. Like, it's not like there's stuff in The Witcher 3 that I don't have to do, because there's plenty of stuff I did not do. So I will definitely be installing that sumbitch.
On the flip side, when you're looking about this about Sony and their backwards compatibility, the information that they put out there is fairly clear. They say 99% of all PS4 games will be playable on PS5 on launch. That's great. However, how much of that percentage is actually going to see the benefit of it being on the PS5 compared to PS4? That's the part that I currently don't understand. Like they're gonna have releases for these patches for specific games, but is this kind of across the board where every game is going to kind of get like a base like performance boost for being on the PS5? And if so, is how much of a boost are we gonna see? For me, you're gonna install like all those in the background game. Yeah, Bloodborne, exactly. Bloodborne's gonna be on everyone's list to kind of give it a try. And I think that's a game that they should showcase running on the PS5, maybe running at 60, or if nothing else, running at a complete and utter lock at 30, at like 4K, and that would have been a great showcase of what the backwards compatibility of the PS5 is capable of, but they haven't showcased anything of the sort. And it's really a missed opportunity, because if it does have the capability under the hood, they're not selling it in the slightest, and it's really silly.
It makes no sense. Like it just, I mean, and that's one, like, your biggest competitor is showcasing this stuff like full on. Like everything's going to look 10 times better on the Series X as soon as you boot it up. Like, if PlayStation does do that, freaking show it off. Like, why not?
That's what I start to wonder. The same with if you remember the off-rumored PS1 through 3 backward compatibility. I just wonder if the PS4 games running on PS5 don't really get an upgrade. Maybe they get like a boost mode. Remember boost mode? It really didn't do a whole lot.
Yeah, not much.
But it probably is just that, and certain specific titles will get upgraded. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it's across the board like Microsoft is doing, because Sony doesn't seem to put that kind of work to do it. If they did something system level, we'd have heard about it by now.
Yeah, it's and then if you remember, boost mode actually came way after the PS4 Pro
Yeah.
launch too. It wasn't something that happened right off the bat. So it took like a year or more for the boost mode to even come out. So maybe it'll be something like that for PS5. Maybe they're not. It's not a priority for them, and they're kind of putting that on the back burner so they can have a mode like that. Because they made it pretty clear. Xbox has a big focus on backwards compatibility. PS5, Sony does not. That's definitely the messaging that we're seeing. So it is unfortunate for Sony, especially for people like us who have such a enormous library of PS4 games that we're going to be able to dip into when we're done with these launch titles, after the first month or something like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I would love to boot back up Days Gone and play some more of that, or just anything to get those games running. But I don't know. Oh, I want to welcome the Wombat.
Hello.
I didn't know you were. I didn't know you were coming.
Well, I'm sorry.
Surprise, motherfucker!
We started early because Drew had to leave early, and we kind of were going to make the show about the PS5.
Well,
and
Xbox, yeah, PS5 and Xbox.
So.
Well, I am here, and I am prepared. I am prepared to talk about whatever you would like to talk about.
Well, now that Ryan's here, let's get to the facts. Who among us has already a PS5 pre-ordered?
I do.
That would be me.
Drew?
No.
Okay, so Drew's the only person here that doesn't have one pre-order. Drew, do you plan on picking one up at some point or another?
Yes, probably sometime next year.
Okay.
And more than likely, I will be going with the discless version.
The digital
Good luck.
version. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, I just want to acknowledge the missed opportunity that I didn't come in and say kept you waiting, huh?
Oh yes, you totally.
Thanks, Kiefer.
So let's talk about that, Drew. So I have a theory about the discless or the dickless PS5.
You think? Yeah. I heard that last week too. That was fantastic.
So I think that Sony doesn't give two shits about that console, that SKU. I think they made it so when they do their advertising, they can say starting at $399.
Sure. And you think they're going to discontinue it next year?
Looking at the pre-orders, I saw a chart floating around on the internet, and it does come from a sales website, so it does have some credibility. I'm sure it's not 100% accurate. But according to that chart, the discless version of the PS5 makes up less than 1% of pre-orders of the PS5.
I just don't get that.
Really?
That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
And it's not from people not trying to get it. It's from the fact that that's how much stock there is of it.
Yeah, I actually
because every
heard.
PS5 is sold out pre-order-wise.
Yeah, and I heard people that are working at GameStop that were getting these stocks in. I'm not sure if it was a GameStop scheme or not, because obviously this is bad business for them. But they were getting in 15 disc-based PS5s and maybe 1 or 2 digital versions of PS5. So that's a huge, huge difference in the stock availability.
Which, by the way, I have that version pre-ordered. I have the unicorn. I could sell it on eBay for
good luck.
10 grand this fall.
Assuming you actually get it.
Assuming
that's true. Probably gonna get it canceled.
But whatever. I have that, but I have it pre-ordered on Amazon. So worst case scenario, I can yell at them and they can give me $50 credit or something. I don't know.
So here the question is: will the Xbox be this rare?
I don't think it'll be this rare, and I talked to Jay a little bit about this before you got here, but I think Microsoft has better structure for their pre-orders, and I truthfully think they have more systems, and I also think that it's not going to be as in high demand as the PS5.
Yeah, so because the Xbox sucks.
Well, right, I think Tuesday.
Spoken like a true pony, Drew.
Exactly.
Yep. The one guy who doesn't have a PlayStation pre-ordered is saying the Xbox sucks.
Exactly. I think Tuesday, if you log on at 11 a.m. and you have your browser open, I think you will be able to get one. It won't last. It'll last hopefully longer than 30 seconds, like the PS5s did.
Yeah.
I think you will be able to get one on Tuesday if you want, and I think that there'll probably be... Sony's already announced that there's a second run of pre-orders coming, but I think there'll be 2 or 3 more runs of pre-orders for both of these systems before November.
It'll have to be. It'll have to be.
For sure.
I'm going to try Amazon. I'm going to try to get my Series X from Amazon.
You gotta have multiple browsers.
You gotta have multiple tabs, Drew.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not all right. So that's one thing I will admit is that I'm not going to be breaking my back to get any of these new consoles because, to be honest with you, I can wait if need be.
Sure, we all can, and to kind of go back to the conversations we've had up to this point, the PS5 I could have waited on too because I could have played Miles Morales this fall without PS5.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens on Tuesday because there are obviously at the consumer level there are benefits to having a pre-order system that is this is when it's going live. Exactly. Be ready.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it means everybody's going to be on at that exact same time trying to get one.
True.
So it's going to be, there's not going to be like, Ken, you and I were on Best Buy for a long time trying to refresh and get through, which was just an absolute disaster. But then, 3 hours later, I got mine on Amazon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too. I literally clicked Wario's link and got it immediately.
Yeah. So that opportunity may not be here on Tuesday because everything's going live at once. So It's good that it gives everybody time to prepare, but it also is going to really condense the window in which you've got to get on and get one or you're not going to get one. So I prefer that method versus the scatter shot. Well, it's live, figure it out. But at the same time, it's gonna really condense how long those things are available. So my suggestion to anybody that wants one would be ready at 11 o'clock. Well, be ready at 10:30.
I think Best Buy is going to be my last choice.
Oh yeah, they've completely screwed themselves. That was the biggest disaster I have ever seen. It was such a mess, and the fact that then, like after an hour of just trying to get to checkout, that once I finally got to checkout, it took me like 10 times to get to the thing where I pick the store that I want to get it to, and then the button, it's so tantalizing because the button says proceed to payment information. And it's like, yes, this is it. No, it won't load. It won't go anywhere.
That's the only reason I stayed on it so long is because I felt like if I just sat there for 2 more seconds, I could get the button to work.
Yep. That's exactly the way I felt.
Yep. I hit check. I don't know if I've ever hit the button checkout so many times in my life. And it didn't do anything ever.
And it didn't do anything. No.
You guys think that was bad. So I was getting ready for the 3080 on 9 a.m. on that particular day. So I had about 4 different windows open. Best Buy, BH, and Audio Video, Pro Audio. They sell it there, so why not? Newegg, Amazon, and the actual official GeForce. So I have a script where it actually refreshes every window every 10 seconds automatically. So I ran that, put it onto a side window. I have all of those going at once, and the only update that I ever saw happen was that it went from coming soon to out of stock within 10 seconds of each one of those windows when it finally changed. So not only did I not have a minute, I didn't have 10 seconds for me to put in the order for one of those.
I swear to God.
It can get worse. It can be worse.
Only in America will we sit around like a bunch of jackasses for 2.5 hours trying to give somebody $500 of our money.
Yeah. $700 for me on that count, but no, it did not happen.
God, like it was to a point where I would see like bundles go up on GameStop and stuff, and I was like, I got $750. I could do this, and I'm like, and then I would slap myself and be like, don't be stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, this makes sense. I mean, at least Ken, you staying up got you that Amazon pre-order though, so it actually ended up working out. So
yeah, God bless. I know all of us on this podcast will say this and will probably agree, but God bless Wario64. That man is a monster.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like my favorite Twitter follow of all time.
Oh yeah, I wish I would literally create a Twitter account just to follow him, just so that's the only thing that was in my feed.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, like that dude, like I've literally thought about like, well, how can I just like I'll just go to his account and just refresh that because that account is a beautiful thing.
I'm glad I had
every single time there's an event.
I'm glad I had Twitter notifications
anymore.
on. I had Twitter notifications on for his account, so it notified me that he said that the Amazon pre-orders were up, and I followed the link.
You know
Yeah.
what? You know what? Speaking of that, I would totally watch if he would allow people to know the truth about how he does and what he does. I would watch a 2-hour documentary on Wario 64. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I mean, he's got to have like 20 people working that account at once, right?
You gotta think he does,
Yeah.
right?
It can't be one person. It's impossible.
No, because he'll like put out deals at like 4 o'clock in the morning and then also at like 6 p.m. in the evening, and I'm like,
Yeah.
there's no way.
Yeah.
And then
You
he
gotta
has
sleep.
these animated GIFs of things that are happening right now. Like he'll have it processed, edited, and uploaded as you're watching it live on screen. I'm just sitting there like, how is this possible? It takes
don't-
time to do this.
I don't know how he does what he does, and what's funny is he breaks every deal, every price, every pre-order. I mean, nobody's faster than Wario 64.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. And that's at Wario64 if you guys are wondering.
Yeah,
listening. Yeah, give him
If
a
you're not
follow.
following him on Twitter, you're fucking up.
Yeah, if you like games, you like deals, follow this man.
Yeah.
Whew.
But actually, going to the more technical side of the actual specs of the hardware, so now that you're going discless, and Drew, if you're gonna get a PS5, you say you're gonna go discless as well.
Probably.
Ryan, did you get discless or did you get with disc?
No, I did the disc version.
Yeah, okay. Me and you with disc, and Ryan, with Drew and Ken kind of wanting to go discless. My concern is that their expendable storage is going to be NVMe SSD slot, which are great because I'm using already 2 of those on my hard drive situation for my computer, and they're lightning fast. But based on what Sony has said about their expendable speed and how the SSD is going to be, it would have to match the same speed of the internal storage in order for those games to load. Like, for example, like games like Ratchet and Clank to like function properly during those load sequences. So I'm curious if they're gonna have these like verifiable NVMe 2 cards that you can buy. Otherwise, it won't work. Like any old regular NVMe cards just won't work properly. You know what I mean? Like, did you guys hear anything about that?
They've already said that. They said that the PS5 will support external drives, but also when they announced that, they said don't buy any of them currently
Right.
because only specific ones are going to work.
Well, but didn't they also say that you'd be able to use a like the drive that I have connected to my PS4 right now, a standard drive as well,
Right.
and just
You
like
can't-
transfer back and forth?
I don't know. Microsoft said that,
Oh, okay.
but I didn't hear that Sony did. I don't know why you couldn't, but
Right.
if you do remember, let's be fair, the PS4 didn't support external drives when it launched.
Right.
So I don't know.
So I'm assuming you can probably transfer backup data using like a USB hard drive, like a USB 3 hard drive or something. Does the PS5 have USB-C slots? I don't remember.
It has.
It definitely has. I think
I know
aren't
it
the
has
front
USB
slots
3.
USB-C.
Okay, yeah, USB-C, USB 3, external hard drives. Those are actually pretty damn fast, as long as you've optimized for them. So at the very least, you should be able to back things up there and then transfer them over, vice versa. But I think if you're going to actually run games off of it, you'll probably need to use that expendable drive. And I will tell you, those NVMe drives are not as cheap as USB external drives.
No.
Yeah, if you're getting a deal, a terabyte NVMe 2 will cost about $120 for a terabyte for like a decent performer. If you get a really good deal, you can get it for like 90 or 100, but they generally don't have the best read and write speed. And these Sony ones that they're talking about for verified content, it feels like they'll be even more expensive because they'll be even faster than that. So I don't know if I want to dish out like $200 for a terabyte, if that kind of comes to it. That's one of the reasons why I'm also going disc-based in case, I kind of want the option to like flip around games easily and kind of install them back and forth. As far as the Xbox is concerned, I understand that they have 1 terabyte like Microsoft expansion card slot. What does that even mean? Is it an NVMe? Is it a...
So the slot on the back of the machine is it's for an expansion slot. It's being made by Seagate. And it's a 1 terabyte NVMe card. Now, they've confirmed this week that you can actually hot swap those. So while the system's on, if you've got two of them, you can pop one out and pop the other one in, and it immediately just recognizes the games.
Is it going to be like that expandable hard drive that they have for the 360 where it didn't offer that much storage, but it costs a lot more anyway because it was Xbox
Well, I
branded?
know they started a terabyte, and I don't know how much they cost yet. I don't think anybody has said how much they cost. I'm afraid of how much they cost.
Yeah, I hate these proprietary storage devices.
But Microsoft does support just straight up plugging something in. As Ryan was saying, you can plug in a standard any hard drive external, and you can transfer to the internal storage, or you can play back compat games off of the external drive. You just won't get the loading benefits.
Right.
But you can literally play Xbox 360, and Xbox One games off of a standard USB 3 external platter drive or standard 7200 RPM drive. So the only thing you can't do is you can't get the benefits of the NVMe drive.
So, with every launch, you have to consider when you buy a console for whatever the amount that it is, you're never gonna have to just buy that console. You're gonna probably get another controller. You're gonna probably want to get an expandable hard drive, especially if you're getting the digital version. And I'm curious, besides the fact that let's say you line up these two consoles being $500 each side by side, which is going to end up being more expensive with that expandable hard drive plus that extra controller and whatever else you might possibly need in order to actually play your system out of the box with at least some efficiency.
What's funny about all of that is like Microsoft has kind of made that easy because you don't have to buy new controllers.
Oh yeah, you can use Xbox One controllers for everything?
You can use straight up Xbox One controllers. You can use all of your old accessories. So if you bought an adaptive controller or a flight stick or headset or whatever, like all of that stuff just works on the Xbox Series X.
Nice, that's good. I know Sony games, the PS5 games don't work with DualSense, but the PS4 games work with the PS4 controllers, right?
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
Yeah,
so like if you're playing a PS4 game, you're fine, but if you want to play, and the DualSense prices came out, they're $70 pop.
Yeah, they're not cheap. They're Pro controller prices? Or actually, Pro controllers are $80, aren't they?
Pro controllers. You were talking about an Elite?
Switch. No, Switch,
Pro controller. Yeah, those are 70, right?
They're 70, are they?
I think they are. Microsoft is 59 for the Xbox Series X controllers. DualSenses are 69. I think a Pro controller's 69.
They're $69.99.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
For the Switch, right?
Yeah,
they're $69.99.
So they're Pro prices. As far as the DualSense controllers, what do we get with them that we don't already have with the PS4 controllers?
Oh, the haptic trigger feedback, right?
I think the PS4 already has haptic feedback, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't.
Not for the
triggers.
triggers.
Oh, not for triggers. Okay, does it have the back buttons that a lot of the people will like?
No.
It doesn't.
No,
Okay.
the DualSense does not have back buttons. The Xbox Elite controllers have the haptic feedback in the triggers. But the PS4 DualShock does not. It still has the touchscreen. You can blow in it.
Oh yeah, that's exactly. I'll pay $10 extra to be able to blow on my controller. That's a premium quality right there.
I mean, I was trying to think of things that made it. I think it's just the haptics, and I understand that they're supposedly very cool, but so was HD Rumble, and like 4 games used it. So
yeah, I like haptic feedback is neat when you're playing shooters or driving games. I think I have experience playing those games with haptic feedback, and I thought it was good. Because when you pull the trigger for the gun, you can actually feel the vibration of the recoil of the gun. Mm-hmm. So that's nice. And driving, obviously, is very good for haptic because you're actually kind of feeling resistance as you're kind of, pushing the gas and all this stuff. But so that's all there is. I mean, it's a nice function, but it certainly doesn't feel like it's necessary. You know what I mean?
No, I don't feel like I need. I'm very happy with current controllers, except for the PS4 light bar. I wish that would go away. I get why it doesn't, but in the touchpad, it's the map button. Let's be fair, it's the map button. I'm I don't want to use it for anything else. That was actually one of the things that upset me about Ghost of Tsushima, was that I had just bought like a thing to let me use my Xbox controller on it, and unfortunately, a couple of the functions of the you got to swipe it to make the wind blow, and I was like, so I had to use the DualShock. But like, I've always been kind of a fan of just like ever since the 360 of like, hey, 2 analog sticks, 4 face buttons, 4 triggers, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't mind innovation, but I feel like if it's only the haptic feedback that is lost between the transition between the DualSense and the DualShock 4, then I think that's a really stupid reason to not allow people to use DualShock 4 on their PS5 games.
Yeah,
That's silly.
I don't understand why you can't use that. That's it more than anything else. I got no problem with updating a controller. If people like that stuff, like the Elite controller did the haptic feedback in the back buttons, and I'll be real honest with you, I don't give 2 shits about either one. I don't like back buttons. I hit them by accident all the time, so I don't want them. But I get why you innovate. I just don't understand why you won't allow people to use.
Yeah, that's the disconnect there. I hope at the very least it'll allow you to use like the accessory stuff, like fight sticks and stuff like that, on the PS5. Because if they don't, then that's just them just being greedy and making people buy them all over again.
Yeah, it's not like a fight stick's gonna have new functionality.
Exactly. I'm assuming that it will, but based on this practice of not letting people use their PS4 controllers for PS5 games, kind of makes me a little bit wary as far as what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I really honestly do not know. It's a weird, and let's kind of tie that in. I don't know that I believe anything Sony's going to tell me right now, especially after the Horizon and the Sackboy and the Miles Morales all. We believe in generations, except we don't.
Yeah.
Those games are all coming to PS4.
Consoles have shifted in a way where, you know how different the architecture for PlayStation 2, and then PlayStation 3, the emotion engine for PlayStation 2, the cell engine for PlayStation 3, those are vastly different infrastructures compared to what we have now for PS4 and PS5. Now it basically has become that all these consoles are nothing more than just enhanced PCs. There's nothing really special about them. The PS5 has that sound chip, has a very fast SSD, but that's really the only thing that differentiates it from like a medium to high end PC. So in that way, I could kind of understand that you're not really putting your games out by having these multi-generational games. So for example, it's just going to be a difference between a game running on medium versus a game running on ultra, right? Yep. So that's kind of the way I approach it, which is fine because I've been a PC gamer for so long. But I think we need to change our perspective as far as what cross-generation means, since it should not affect the higher-end consoles' performance too much in the long run. But I imagine they're not going to be as ambitious with these titles if they were to be exclusive to begin with. So let's see if they keep up with the trend with the cross-gen past the initial launch year.
It was just, I think what bothered me more than anything is that, let's be fair, Microsoft took a beating in the press over things like Halo Infinite, which we've all seen Craig. Okay, we've all seen Craig. Craig looks like shit.
Craig looks fantastic. I don't know what you're talking about.
But, like, the conversation around, like, well, it's because you're cross-gen, it's holding the game back, and I'm just like, it's really not. That's a poor example because obviously there were issues at 343. There's a reason why Halo was delayed until 2021. But to hear that argument for a solid 3 months for Sony to just go, nah, we lied. We don't really believe in generations. We believe in making money, which is the smart thing to do. Let's be fair.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Spider-Man's going to sell a shit ton on PS4. Horizon's going to sell a shit ton on PS4. I mean, it's just business. And the PS4 is not going to hold back the PS5 games. It's just not. Just like this Xbox One games are not going to hold back the Series X games.
Right. At least in the scope of what they're trying to do in the visual fidelity area, yeah.
No, it's just not. You know, you build and you scale. And I know I make it sound simple and it's extremely hard work. That's not what I mean. What I mean is that PCs, like Jay has said, have been doing this for years.
Yep.
I mean, Horizon runs on a PC, maybe not great because the port's bad, but the PC used to run fucking Beavis and Butthead point and click games, and now it runs Horizon. So don't tell me cross generation holds it back. That's a stupid argument. It was stupid when people were making it about Xbox. It's stupid if anybody makes it about PlayStation 5. Just is.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. We're living in different times there. The goals of these machines are different. The real question at this point is, are we going to see a PlayStation 5 Pro? Are we going to see a Xbox Series X
Pro?
Series X?
Series XX?
Fucking
Series XX.
Oh, goddamn. Fucking Xbox and their naming conventions, man.
Yeah. So let's talk about some games. So God of War was announced.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all love the first one. Drew, did you beat the first game yet?
Not yet. We're still working on it, Phoenix Down. So I guess Ragnarok happens. Don't spoil it, though.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
That's just a subtitle. They didn't show anything. So it was a Metroid Prime premiere. So, like, you just get the logo, which is fine. I know it'll come. I know it'll be great. I'm not worried about it.
There you go.
Let's talk about the other elephant in the room. Another place where Sony is really kind of irritating the piss out of me. Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah. It's about that exclusivity.
Yeah, about that exclusivity.
It's not. That's the thing.
It's not.
Yeah. So we really should title this one Asterix also coming to PC.
PC in 6 months, 12 months Xbox.
Yeah. And so and they even said that, like, they even did that with Dark Souls, and then or not Dark Souls, but Demon Souls, and then changed it.
Yeah, they changed the trailer. They're still claiming that it's not coming to PC, and I'm like,
You're lying.
Yeah.
Well, Bloodborne never came to PC, even though everyone thought it was going to. So I don't know, man. I wanted to.
Bloodborne didn't launch with a trailer that at the end of it said also coming to PC.
That's true.
And also, timed exclusive to PlayStation?
What, Demon Souls? I doubt it. It's Blue Point.
Didn't it say on that trailer it was like also coming to PC and timed exclusive for PlayStation 5?
I still think Demon Souls will stay console exclusive to PlayStation.
Yeah, I think that was a blunder as far as the graphics department goes. That's probably why they removed it. Like, generally speaking, they don't deny things that are gonna happen unless they have some plausible deniability, and that I don't know. It feels like kind of a pointless thing to deny if they already had the trailer up. You know what I mean? But as far as those games are concerned, it feels like timed exclusive seems like a Square thing. They did it with Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's coming to PC in like a couple months too, right? Like they had a 1 year exclusivity with PS5. Is it ever coming to Xbox at all?
Yeah, it'll come to Xbox probably in March when the exclusivity's up.
Okay, so PC and Xbox in March then, right? Okay, so maybe they'll do that with Final Fantasy 16 as well.
I'm sure, but it'll launch on PS5 in 2023 and then in 2024 on PC and Xbox.
So
probably.
Here's my big takeaway, and I seriously had this thought, was after watching that PlayStation event and noticing all of this is exclusive to PlayStation, but PC as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I in my head, I just went ahead and clicked. I was like, maybe I should just build a better PC and play all this stuff.
Yes, do it.
But my thing is that I have a nice 4K TV sitting right here.
I mean, it's all about your preference. If you want to sit on the couch and watch it in front of the TV, or if you want to be on your PC, that's the thing that drives me crazy. And I'm going to go on a little rant here. The thing that drives me crazy about fucking PC people, and I'm not talking to you, Jay, so just relax, is when they come out and they're like, why would you buy an Xbox? And I'm like, because I prefer to play on a console and the Xbox Series X will make my games look better. Why the fuck would you buy a 3080? Same goddamn reason. You like to play on PC and you want your games to look better. So don't ask why you would pre-order an Xbox Series X without any games to play on it that are exclusive. Because I got one fucking word for you. If you're a PC gamer, none of those games are exclusive. You know, you can play them other places. Some people prefer not to spend $800 on a video card which is just one piece of a PC. If you do, that's cool. That's your jam. I'm all for it. All those guys trying to get a 3080, I didn't question why you were trying to get a 3080. I know why you were trying to get a 3080. You want your shit to look and run beautifully. I get it. I'm the same way. I want a Series X because I do want to see Assassin's Creed Odyssey in 60 FPS 4K on my couch. You know what I mean? So if you feel like, hey, PC is the way to go, you've got Game Pass.
Yeah. So I get every Microsoft exclusive.
Yeah. So, and you get them day one, and you can play them on the PC with your brand new video card. That's your choice. That's the beauty of choice.
I know, and I don't know. I don't know at this point. Like, I was so conflicted after watching that, and I was just like, do I need to bust my ass to try and get one of these consoles because they're going to be so hard to get a hold of this season?
If you don't feel like you need them, that's fine. If you feel like you want them just because you can afford them, that's fine too. But if you don't get them, don't fret it. You can get them next year if you want to play God of War next year, if you want to play Final Fantasy in 2022, whenever it launches, instead of waiting, then it would be nice to have those machines, you know?
Yeah.
But you don't have to. You could just wait. And let's be fair, there are some games that we all play on launch, but there are plenty of games like Drew sitting on God of War for 2 years.
Yeah.
You know?
It's not like I'm dying to play new games here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting one just because this is the first generation in a long time when I've been in a good position to actually get one at launch. But
yeah,
also because I want to. I'm glad that I can play Cyberpunk on it at launch.
Yep.
And I want to play Valhalla on it at launch. Which, by the way, I don't know if it's still up, but they had the PS4 version of Assassin's Creed Valhalla for $49.99 on Amazon, which includes free upgrade to the PS5 version.
Yeah, I think this is going to be... So let's talk about that. One of the things that didn't come out until after the show was that Sony's raising the prices of their games.
Yeah.
Next-gen games from some companies are going to run $69.99, and that includes all first-party Sony games. So if you want a first-party Sony game next generation, it's going to be $70. I mean, we all have been expecting it for about, I don't know, close to a decade now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, how do you feel? Like, we already wait sometimes because, like Drew and I were just talking about, you don't necessarily feel the need to play the game when it launches.
Yeah.
And I kind of laughed because I saw Godfall is also doing the $69.99. I was like, motherfucker, that game's going to be $20 come January.
Yep.
I am not paying $70 for Godfall. No fucking way. So, I don't know. It doesn't bother me because I'm privileged enough to be able to afford it, but I understand why people who, penny pinch that $70 is just too much to ask for a video game right now.
What's going to end up happening is people are just going to be more picky with their game choices.
Or Microsoft's going to pull in a whole shitload of people for $15 a month.
Yep, more of that too.
God damn, man. EA Play joining that and all first-party Microsoft games plus a fuckload of third-party games.
I can't believe there's people out there that still deny that Game Pass is not a good deal.
I don't know how you think that's not a good deal. Like, I'm looking... So if you just look at launch of Xbox Series X with Game Pass, you get Gears Tactics, over 200 games that are already in the service, and EA Play, which is another 85 games that you can play on the service. What else is launching first party? I think it's just Gears. It might be Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I doubt it.
They didn't have that in that little graphic I saw.
The Medium is in Game Pass, so you just get that. Basically everything that Microsoft showed that's going to be at launch in that showcase that had Game Pass, all of those are just in Game Pass. You don't have to buy them. That's fucking insane to me. Like, economically, when I think back to... Listen, I'll just go back to, like, the PlayStation 2 launch where I bought, like, 10 games.
Summoner.
Yeah. Like, I spent $50. I think, was PS2 $50 at launch? Does anybody remember? Like the games themselves?
I don't remember. I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, but like $50 a piece for 10 games, that's $500 worth of games. Or I pay $15 a month and get 300 games. It's fucking crazy to me.
It is.
And I look at the PlayStation and I go, Godfall for $70. I look at that racing game that we talked about at the beginning. Does anybody know the name of that fucking game?
No, I can't remember the name of it.
God damn it.
Hang on a second.
Like, that game is $70. Demon Souls is $70. I get y'all motherfuckers want to pay $70 for Demon Souls. I get it. Miles Morales, though, is only
50.
Yeah, it's 50. Or it's 70 if you buy the deluxe edition with Spider-Man, with the original Spider-Man.
Which they still haven't said whether whether if you already own the original Spider-Man, you get the upgrade for free.
That is such a crock of shit. They really need to put that out there. This
Destruction
whole
All-Stars.
Destruction All-Star. Wow, what a terrible name. But yeah, that game is $70. But games like Godfall and Destruction All-Stars are going to benefit from being one of the few new games that launch. So people are going to buy them because they're like, well, I need something to play.
Why is Like a Dragon Xbox launch but not PlayStation launch?
I think that's one of those deals that Microsoft made to, I think it's coming to PS4 in November.
Okay.
But I don't think the problem is with PlayStation not having the marketing smart delivery thing, something to say this is our games get upgraded. Like a Dragon is just being upgraded via smart delivery.
Gotcha.
It's not like it's a weird launch because we got to stop looking at games like, well, this is launching for it and it's a separate SKU because it's the same fucking SKU, same game.
Yeah.
Just
so
kidding.
according to this infographic here, PlayStation 5 has Miles Morales, Sackboy, Destruction All-Stars, Demon Souls, Playroom, Astro Playroom.
That comes bundled with the system. You don't have to buy that.
All right. Godfall, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Madden 21, Dirt 5, Destiny 2, Beyond Light, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Watchdog Legions, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, NBA 2K21. Xbox, Gears Tactics, Tetris Effect.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Like a Dragon. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, The Falconeer, Madden 21, Dirt 5, Destiny 2 Beyond Light, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Watchdog Legions, and Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, and NBA 2K21.
What's fucked up about the Xbox launch is half of those games are in Game Pass.
Which ones are in Game Pass?
So go through the list again. Sorry, Gears Tactics I know is for sure.
Yes.
Madden will be because EA Play is in Game Pass.
Right. You got Tetris Effect, Like a
Game
Dragon.
Pass. I believe Yakuza is Game Pass. The first
Really?
3 on Xbox are.
Yes, they are. The Falconeer.
So, Falconeer, I believe, is Game Pass.
Okay. Dirt 5.
Dirt 5 is not. That will be a straight-up game.
Destiny 2 Beyond Light.
That is.
Well, Destiny 2 is free to play now, right?
Yeah, but the expansions can be in Game Pass.
Oh, okay.
Destiny and all of its expansions are coming to Game Pass the end of this month.
Call of Duty?
No, Call of Duty definitely not.
Watch Dogs.
No Ubisoft games, no.
Devil May Cry 5.
Devil May Cry 5 was in Game Pass, but I think it left. But this one also kind of irritates me because it's a separate SKU. It's not just getting an upgrade on Xbox, which I think is a crock of shit.
Yeah, and then NBA 2K21.
Yeah, that's not, but it may be next year because NBA 2K20 and 19 both made it into Game Pass.
That's true.
So.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of games that you don't have to pay for at launch. And granted, they're not on the same level as like a Demon Souls or a Miles Morales. Those two games are really good.
All right, here's the deal, because I know everybody is still giving me crap about this. Gears Tactics is still in my top 10 games of the year.
It's like, Game Pass, so you can just play it.
Exactly. So I'm saying don't crap on Gears Tactics. I know it's no Demon Souls, but Gears Tactics is a freaking quality game.
I mean, I'm not saying that you're not getting good games. I'm just saying that, like, the wow factor definitely lays with Miles Morales and Demon Souls.
Sure, I would give it that. Gears Tactics is an XCOM game, but it's if you ask me, it's better than XCOM.
Now, the Medium wasn't on that list, but I think that game has the ability to be pretty good.
Is that a launch title though?
Yes, it is.
Why is that not in that list then?
Because these lists are, there's probably 20 other games that aren't on that list.
Wow.
But the Medium is also in Game Pass, so that's another one that I'll just fucking play because.
But the crazy thing is, if you want to play the Medium, you can do it on your Xbox One.
Might want to clarify that one. That one might be one of those that's not.
Really?
It's a third party, so it's not. It's Bloober, so.
So what happened to everything that comes to Xbox?
First party.
Oh.
I mean, people have confused that for months now, but it's just Microsoft first party.
Gotcha.
The third parties are not required to make their games playable on Xbox One if they just want to make a next-gen game.
Gotcha. Okay.
So.
I don't even know what Medium is, so whatever.
It's like a Silent Hill style horror game.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But anyway.
I don't know what happened to Jay.
Oh, did he leave?
He's been gone for probably 30 minutes.
Oh, wow. Jesus. I didn't even realize. I apologize. What else can we talk about? There's a lot. Confirmation for Xbox Series S backwards compatibility happened this week. So a couple things. According to engineers at Microsoft, Xbox Series S games can be up to 30% smaller due to not needing all of the space. And the system will obviously do that math for you. So people concerned about the hard drive sizes. We should probably talk about the hard drive size. We've got all the information now. PS5, both systems comes with an 865 gigabyte hard drive. The Xbox Series S comes with a 512, and the Xbox Series X has a 1 terabyte.
Yep.
How fast before that 1 terabyte fills up?
Well, considering Miles Morales is 105 minimum install.
Good God, it'll take me all day just to download the freaking thing.
Yeah. So I don't know how this stuff's going to pan out. I really don't.
I mean, there's about to be a whole lot of people that are more like me that only play one game at a time.
I mean, they won't have a choice.
Yeah.
I think it was also confirmed that Demon Souls is 66 gigabytes. So, there you go. What other news came out of this? Anybody? I'm trying to scroll through stuff. We've had good conversation, so I haven't even been looking at the news. The PS5 is a hefty boy. I don't know if y'all saw those pictures.
Yep.
Holy shit, that thing is big.
Yep.
It won't fit under my console here.
I mean, I don't think it's going to fit under most people's entertainments. Now, this is funny because, like, it'll fit under mine, and so will the Series X. But it's only because I had to buy a TV stand this year that will hold an 85-inch goddamn television.
Yeah,
so,
I don't even know if the Series X will fit up under this thing.
I know it won't fit under most people's because if you lay it on its side, it's a fat boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's thick.
But they said you can lay it on its side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Remember when people used to stack their 360s up, and if you moved it while the disc was in, it would scratch the crap out of the disc and not work?
Yep. As someone who used to have my Xbox 360 vertical, yes, I 100% know that.
That was fun. That was a fun time.
Hey, Jay's back.
It was a great time for me to lose electricity.
Oh.
Always nice when I'm in the middle of a meeting or some kind of podcast recording. It always happens. Every time.
Yeah. It was funny. I rewired my network in my office yesterday,
Uh-huh.
and I realized I didn't have enough cables because I usually hardwire the Xbox and the PC. I didn't have enough for both. I was like, I'm totally hardwiring the PC for the podcast because otherwise I'm going to get a disconnection.
You're a smart man than I, because that's exactly what happened. So where did you guys leave off? Like, where were we at in the conversation?
I don't know when you left, so I don't know where you left off.
It's been a good 30 minutes.
I think we're talking about God of War.
Oh
and
God, we're way
yeah.
past it.
Okay. Did you guys talk about any other launch games that are coming out?
We
actually
walked through
did.
all of them.
Okay. Well, let me just say Demon's Souls. For me, for someone that's loved the Souls games, and like I liked Demon's Souls before it was cool. Like it was one of those games that came out in PS3. I had no idea what it was. I played it, I got my butt whooped, and I loved every minute of it. And then
Yeah.
it became a phenomenon later down the road.
Yeah,
That's kind of the game that started it all. And Drew, I know you were there too, right? Like you got Demon's Souls pretty early.
we got the PAL version.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, listen, y'all. You're talking to the person on the podcast that reviewed the first Demon's Souls,
On PS2.
and I have,
On
I have a
PS2.
screener copy that says PS2 on it.
Well, Demon's Souls also cross-gen compatible with PS2.
Yeah,
Not a lot of
right.
people knew that, yeah. But Ryan, I'm curious, why did you give it a 2 out of 10? Was it too hard for you? Did you get past the tutorial, or what happened?
I did make it past the tutorial. Actually, I think I gave it a 9.
Oh wow!
Yeah, you gave it
I,
a good score.
I really liked Demon's Souls.
I mean, there was
I
nothing
thought it was
like
really
it
good.
when you
Exactly.
played it. Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the ability to leave messages for people and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I really enjoed Demon's Souls. It was
Think about
hard,
Ryan.
but I
So-
enjoyed it.
I feel so bad giving you that game because think about Ryan having to play that game before that genre existed
Oh, God.
Blind.
without anybody else playing it.
Yes. I
No facts.
I started playing that game blind. Before, like you said, before anybody knew what it was, other than it was a From Software game that looked pretty cool. I remember playing through the beginning of it and going, this game is fun, but it is fucking hard. And I remember the first time I died after a significant amount of progress and had to go back a significant amount and thought, man, I don't know if this kind of stuff's going to catch on, because there's going to be a lot of people pissed when they die and lose all that progress. But
Right.
but no, I really enjoyed the aesthetics in that first game.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
It was really unlike anything else, and
Mhm.
it was really, that's why it was so disappointing to me that when I played Dark Souls, I just couldn't get into it as much as Demon's Souls. So I will probably eventually pick that up. I'm not buying it at launch, but I will probably eventually pick that up just to experience it again.
Yeah.
Demon's Souls is my favorite of the entire Souls series.
If they booted up Bloodborne on the PS5, I'd probably get it. That's my favorite one.
See, I didn't like Bloodborne at all, and I know it's because that I just don't generally jive with that like art style. Now, art style is the wrong way to put it. Like the gothic horror kind of vibe, just
Sure,
wasn't
sure.
my-
Crafty and stuff.
Yeah, that wasn't really in my wheelhouse as much as like the sort of medieval fantasy style of the first one.
Dude,
I definitely made it the furthest in Bloodborne than all of them combined.
God, Demon's Souls, man. I'm going back to like my old college years, or like right out of college. I remember my roommate picked up it wasn't the PAL version. What version was it? It was like the Korean version because it had English in it.
Okay.
And he imported it and he's like, you ever play Kingsfield? I'm like, no.
Fuck Kingsfield.
And he was like, it's like Kingsfield, but it's different, man. I was like, okay. And so we sat down and played it, and we were like, what? Like, what? I don't get it. You die and you have to start back over. He's like, yeah. He said, because it's like you have to make it, you have to beat it in one sitting kind of thing. I was like, what?
Fucking From Software made a game that is basically fuck you, the simulator, and people were like, okay, give me more.
Yeah, that's exactly, dude. We became obsessed with that game for like 2 months.
Mhm.
Because we were like, because there was no information online about it. We were like looking at we were translating web pages trying to figure out this stuff. And it was the
It
sole
almost brought us
tendencies.
back to the point before the internet, where we had all of this resource of
Yeah.
information to kind of help us along beating things. Like Ryan actually probably experienced it in the best way out of all of us. As a reviewer, there's literally nothing out there.
Nothing. No guides, no facts,
Yeah.
no nothing.
Nothing.
Just figure it out.
Yeah, and we figured like one of the biggest things that we thought we were just like, this is a big brain activity right here. We found out you could shoot an arrow through a mist wall and kill one of the man eaters.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to fight one of them at a time. I was like, oh man, we're gonna do this, and it better still be in the remake.
Yeah,
it takes you. It takes you back to the Elecman power in Mega Man, the first Wily boss, where you figured out you could pause it and just keep hitting it.
Yep.
And do double damage.
Yeah, just like fuck this.
Yeah, I will say though, having playing that game with no real context made the first time that you actually see the dragon, like in the very first level where he's just kind of chilling out, really awesome. And then the scene with the bridge and the dragon, really freaking cool, but also really frustrating.
Yeah.
So,
I
but
remember
it was cool.
I've still got the deluxe edition of Demon Souls. I got it sitting right here. And it came with like a little guide made by the people from Atlas. So they wrote this guide, right? And in the first level, I remember reading in the guide, it says, well, if you get one of the blue-eyed guys, the blue-eyed knights, and he chases you, run up the stairs and then fall down the stairs and he will follow you and fall to his death. I'm like, really? You're telling me how to glitch the game in the strategy guide?
Yeah. I mean, do what you gotta do, man.
I guess that was that game, man, was just like, you figure it out. And we were just enthralled with just like, how do we figure this out? Like the biggest thing was, God, what was it? It was the boss that looked like a giant, like flying, manta ray.
Yeah.
And you get that sword that like shoots like a giant, like laser through whenever you swing it. And I was like, this, I've never seen a game like this before in my life.
Good old Storm King encounter. I remember that. That was fantastic. I will say, that is amazing, Ryan. I'm sure you could probably sell that on eBay for a lot of money. PS2 now for resale. Wow.
I bet you could sell that for a pretty penny on eBay.
Yeah,
I'm sure I
yes.
probably could, but I will hold on to it.
Yeah. That's it's gonna be one of those items that you give to your grandchildren one day. It's like, well, back in my day.
Let's talk about the last. I think this will be the last thing we talk about for PS5, Xbox Series X. The PlayStation Plus collection. I forgot we didn't talk about that.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. Uh-huh.
So that was confusing because I didn't quite understand. Like, does that mean you have to have PlayStation Plus to play them?
You
I
gotta
think
have
it's both.
you get them for free if you have PlayStation Plus.
Well, what I'm
Yeah.
saying is when they said all that during the video was really well put together, but I felt like it posed more questions than answers. Before it came out that PS5 was backwards compatible with 99% of PS4 games, Sony had not clarified that yet. So I was like, do you have to have PS Plus to actually be able to play these games backwards compatible? Or if you own them already digitally, can you just play them?
I think it's the latter.
Yeah, I think it's the latter.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is. I think it's just a collection of games that you're getting.
Mhm.
And I saw a really good explanation for it, is to say, like, for the people buying the digital version, they may have owned those games physically. So if you have PlayStation Plus, you just get the digital version so you can just play them.
Yeah, that's also one of the reasons why I chose disc-based. Because yes, I do own the vast majority of my games on the digital these days, but I do still have a lot of games that are physical disc. And if I want to play those, I can't show that I own them digitally. Henceforth, I would need to slide in a disc to let them know that I own the game in order to play it on my PS5. So it's not an option you would have, buying digital.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm unlike a lot of people. I think I literally have 4 PS4 discs, and I think I own most of those games digitally. The only reason I still have the disc is because they're not worth jack shit in trade.
Right.
And literally the only Xbox disc that I own is Rock Band 4, and the only reason I still own it is because I've went to buy it digitally several times, and it's still $60 goddamn dollars, and I'm just like, fuck you.
Seriously.
I'm not paying $60 again. So that's the only Xbox disc that I have. But that collection is good. It has like God of War, Days Gone, Mortal Kombat X, Batman Arkham Knight.
Mm-hmm. Last of Us remastered and
yeah,
some other
like
things.
like that is a really awesome collection of games to give PS5 owners on day one. It really, really is. I'm not. There's no funny haha here. I mean, that is an excellent collection of games to give PS5.
Yeah. For
users
example,
day one.
imagine if you never owned the PS3, PS4
Oh
before,
my god.
and you buy PS5, and all of a sudden you can play all of those games instantly. It'd be amazing. Just be able to go like, oh, I play God of War. Oh, let me go to play Last of Us. Let me go to play
Mortal
Days Gone.
Kombat
and
X,
then
Batman
exactly.
Arkham Knight, like these are good video games.
Yeah. So it's really nice. It's is Microsoft doing something like that for? I know they have Game Pass, of course. But
Well, I think this is the answer to Game Pass. As far as games with gold, I wouldn't be shocked if they did do something, but
Mhm.
I
Are they
kind of
getting
wonder.
rid of Xbox Live? Are they going just straight for Game Pass now, or how's that?
That is the other question in all of this kerfuffle, and I call Microsoft out every time somebody like Rocket League just went free to play.
Mm-hmm.
And Microsoft, the Xbox account, tweeted about it, and I literally quote tweeted and was like, remove the fucking barrier to play free-to-play games on Xbox Live. Because you have to have gold to play a free-to-play game.
Right.
And I think that's archaic as fuck. Like, that is a terrible system, and we keep hearing rumors about Xbox Live Gold going away, and I really think it should. I think you should just have Game Pass, make online play free, and get rid of games with gold, and just make it Game Pass. Like every month with Game Pass, you get a couple games you get to keep.
Didn't they double down on that though, saying Xbox Live's not going away?
They said that it's not going away anytime soon, but I start to wonder if that's just PR speak because they need to have a time and date for it. I don't know. There's too many things that point to that service going away.
Yeah.
And I think
hope
it's
so.
not a matter. I don't think it's a matter of if. I think it's a matter of when.
So what about PlayStation? Are they still saying PlayStation Plus to play online now?
Yes, that is still a thing currently.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's weird because these Xbox Live and PS Plus services have kind of gotten away from online multiplayer. Most people that get them is for like the free games that you get and other content. So it's
That's
weird.
because they don't actually think in their brains that they have to
Uh-huh.
have. And the
Exactly.
problem with Xbox Live is that on PC it's free.
Mhm.
So it's you look at how Microsoft is like, we want all the games. You should be able to play wherever you want. Well, why would I not play on? That's another argument. Is like, why would I not play on PC when multiplayer is free?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one less thing to worry about. I have the Game Pass, pay it off on PC till 2023. Why would I ever pay for Xbox Live?
Yeah, just roll Xbox Live into Game Pass, and if people want
Uh-huh.
to play online, get Game Pass. Because let's be fair, $15 a month for what they offer you is well fucking worth it.
Absolutely.
I agree. 100% agreed there. Did we talk about first party games being brought up to $70 instead of $60?
Yes,
Yes,
we did.
we did
Yeah.
talk about that.
How's your general feelings about that? Is it necessary? Do you guys feel okay about it?
I said it's going to make people more picky on their game choices.
I think
Fair.
it makes Game Pass a lot more attractive.
Enticing. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess these, cost of AAA games going up, inflation, all that stuff is true. When did we get the bump to $60? Was that like a decade ago?
Was 360.
Yeah.
360. So okay, about a decade.
Yeah, because I remember exactly the conversations we're having now about, oh, well, that game's coming to Xbox and Xbox Series X. Back in the day, like, let's take, for example, the Activision titles, like Gun. Gun was $49.99 on Xbox, but it was $59.99 on Xbox 360.
360. And it played better on Xbox.
I mean, that may be the case, but what I'm saying is like, to get it on the new system, it was $10 more.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
the same thing here, because isn't Miles Morales, and Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, Miles Morales on PS4 is $39, but it's $49 PS5.
PS5? I think that's right. Unless you're getting the one that includes the original Spider-Man game.
But that one's not available on PS4.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
The one on PS5 is $69 if you get it with the Spider-Man remaster.
Which, if you have a PS4 copy of Spider-Man, you get the Spider-Man remastered now, so that's good.
But we don't know if Miles Morales does, though, right?
That's a good question.
I don't. Sony stuff is confusing.
Yeah, it's
This is
confusing.
getting out of
They have
hand here.
definitely not yet confirmed that
Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
Spider-Man upgraded for free if you already own it on PS4.
That's a crock of shit.
I
I'll
will
tell you
tell
what's
you
not
the-
confusing
What?
is if you want to play Control on Xbox or PlayStation 5, you got to buy it again. That's not confusing, at least. I got to give them that.
No. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's an asshole maneuver, but it's very blatant and
Yes.
right out in the open.
Yeah. No shit, right?
Seriously.
I don't know. I'm overall, to kind of end this next gen talk, I'm excited because we finally have prices, we have dates. That shit is less than 2 months away. We're gonna have new boxes to open and smell and hook up, and it's gonna be an awesome time. I can't wait. And on top of that, if you're like me and you're getting both, you get them in the same fucking week, man.
That's true. By the time you basically set up your Xbox, you're gonna have PS5 show up on your doorsteps, ready to be set up as well. And we're gonna be able to channel the N64 kid twice in 1 week.
Oh my god! The last time that happened was PS3 and Wii, where one of them launched on Friday and the other one launched on Sunday. Like, that is literally the last time that happened, and I remember doing that because the PS3, I was the only one who bought one, and then all of us went to buy the Wii.
Yep.
I'm surprised you guys were able to get one on launch. The Wii.
We worked at GameStop, so we had
Ah.
inside connections.
Gotcha.
So, speaking of Nintendo, real quick, how about that Mario 3D collection?
It's pretty good, Drew.
Damn good.
It's broken for me though. I have to tell you. So if you played Mario Sunshine back in the day, the camera controls were inverted and you couldn't change them.
Yep.
And now they've switched them to normal, and
Standard.
I can't play it right.
So my thing is the aiming of Flood is
It's hard.
screwed. It's screwed, man.
It's not screwed up, Drew. It's the way it was.
Holy crap!
It
Whatever
was not
happened?
great.
Like, how can you bring the camera down behind Mario, like, you know, and then just aim? Because I still have yet to figure that out.
Well, you mean to hold still?
Oh, yeah, just aim your Flood and like have the camera pull behind Mario,
You
like
pull R, you
down
pull
toward
the
the
right
ground.
R, not ZR, R. In the original, you would pull it down before it clicked, and then you would click it to hold in place. Now it's two buttons. Like ZR is just shoot, and Z or just R is like stop. And
Why didn't they map that to freaking the left trigger?
I don't know.
Guys,
You
I
know?
think the important thing we're learning is that those games were never good, and you're just learning it now. So
No,
live and
No,
let learn. They
absolutely not.
were mediocre, overhyped games for their time, and now you're able to see that with clear eyes. So
Wow.
I'm very glad that we're on the same page and we can move on with our
you
lives.
completely
Mario
just threw all
64,
of your.
mediocre, overrated. Sunshine, mediocre, overrated. I haven't played Galaxy yet, so I can't.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. You just threw your gamer cred right on the street and ran over it.
Well, I'm
64.
only half serious about those statements I made, so
I'm just gonna say this right now. People can get mad all they want. Mario 64 is the best launch game of any console ever.
For sure.
Tell me another game that could have launched that could sell you on a system with just one fucking game.
Soul Calibur, Dreamcast, baby.
Mario,
so good.
Super Mario World.
But that's what I was just getting ready to
Yeah,
say.
Super Mario
Maybe
World,
Super
yeah.
Mario World.
Maybe Super Mario World, but Super Mario 64 ushered in a new goddamn generation. Like, I remember that game. Like, Jason Gambrell and I driving to Toys R Us once every couple days just to play that fucking thing in the demo unit before launch. That game is just... That game was so good.
Yeah, it was revolutionary, but it wasn't that great.
Fuck you.
Wow.
See, now you guys know how other people that love Shenmue feel when you guys shit on it all the time.
No, you put Mario in the same conversation as Shenmue, and not only did I vote over your gamer credentials, I shat upon them upon finishing running
man.
over them.
I don't. Ugh, man, I played Shenmue. I don't. Ooh, man.
That
Yeah.
game is a bad video game.
Yeah.
You can love that game all you want, but if you tell me it is a good video game, I will tell you were wrong.
I don't know, man. There's going to be a lot of people that will
That's
say
fine.
that.
Well, they have problems because that's not a good video game. I can tell you games I like that are not good video games. Like, that's not an exclusive conversation. There are plenty of bad video games that I enjoy. Ryan can tell you several of them.
Yeah. I sure
Two
can.
worlds.
Like
That's
Ken's
not me,
favorite
that's
game.
Ryan.
No. He's talking about himself.
Yes,
Like,
me.
the fact that he likes the stupid Orson Scott Card game.
Advent
that-
Rising.
Advent Rising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
Grab by
that
the
game.
Ghoulies.
Grab by the Ghoulies is a good video game. Shut up.
I mean, the Advent Rising trilogy was certainly a really good story arc. So
I
I
love
mean, I
how they
enjoyed it.
wrapped it up in the third game. It was wonderful.
Yeah, it's very conclusive. Checked all the marks. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Drew, you have to go, right?
I mean, we can keep going.
Okay.
What else we got?
That's all the news I got, really. I mean, it's been all
Yeah.
next gen-y stuff. I can move on to new releases and we can talk about what's coming out this week.
Sure.
Like it?
Jay, I apologize. I've reached out to Atlas and Sega twice, but 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim is out this week.
It's all right. I mean, it just be like that sometimes, man.
Yep. What's funny is it'll probably show up this week, and then I'll be like, Rebel Galaxy Outlaw, Tennis World Tour 2.
Oh man, I hope it's better than the first one.
Probably not. The
That's fucking
Sojourn.
bad.
How you say that? Sojourn?
Sojourn.
The Soggiorno pizza.
Crazy bread.
God damn, you brought that back, and I'd forgotten about that.
Mhm.
Crazy bread. Oh shit. Unrailed, Dungreed, Ginga Force, Going Under.
Did you say Ginger Force?
No, not Ginger Force.
Oh,
That's Ken's video game.
right.
Be quiet. Mafia Definitive Edition, which looks incredible. Can't
That
wait to play
looks
that.
really good, actually. Yeah.
I totally forgot that I bought the remastered trilogy back when it came out. I already owned 3, but it was like, I think it was $39.99 for 2 and 1 remastered. So I just bought it, and I forgot I bought it, and that means I get to play Mafia Definitive Edition this week when it comes out. Port Royale 4 and Troll Hunters Defenders of Arcadia. Let's move over. Castle Storm 2. Twin Breaker, A Sacred Symbols Adventure. That's the Colin Moriarty game, by the way. You know he made a game?
No.
Yep. He's got his own video game, Drew.
Yeah, good for him.
Yep. Little Big Workshop. Tears of Avia. And then Nintendo Switch. Do we have anything on the Nintendo Switch? Oh, shit. That is a great video game name. Worm Jazz.
Is it part of the Worm series with the?
Oh, dude, if it was just the Worms from Worms playing some jazz music, I would totally
Yeah.
fucking buy it. Orbit XL. Air Missions Hind. Is that a hind?
Hindy.
Hindy. Aluris. Big Bobby Car, The Big Race. The fuck are these games, man? Breakpoint. Gothic Murder Adventure That Changes Destiny.
Wait. Say it again.
Gothic Murder Adventure That Changes Destiny.
I don't know where the subtitle begins and the title ends, man. It just
Gothic
keeps going.
Murder is the title.
Uh-huh.
Colon. The adventure that changes destiny.
Okay.
Is there a dash in there?
No. Legends of Eternal. Lost Ember.
Eternal or eternal?
Eternal.
It's Eternal. I'm not reading it wrong. It is Eternal.
All right.
Legends of Eternal.
Legends of the Eternal.
Gerspurms.
It's a great
Yeah.
game. Ermagerd!
Ermagerd Eternal.
Eternal.
Ermagerd, it's Legend of Eternal. Micro. I would say Pico, but I want to say Pico Racers, Micro Pico Racers, but Micro Pico Racers. Rivals of Aether Definitive Edition, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 Complete Edition, War Tile, Adam's Venture Origins, and that's it for the Switch.
Okay, well, can't wait for Gothic Murder : movie film for theaters.
All right,
Well-
we got an email yelling at me, so
Oh,
Alright,
I
too
can't
bad
wait.
Anthony's not here to.
I love it.
I can't wait.
Cheapy. You diss the. I'm sorry, this email comes from Daryl. It's called the Avengers campaign. You diss the Avengers because it's repetitive? You hypocrite. You play the
Ooh.
most repetitive game every day in Overwatch.
He's not wrong.
And you have the gonads to complain about the end game of the Avengers. I have not made it to the end game. I apologize. The campaign's boring the shit out of me.
The
Um,
gonads.
But anyway, the Avengers campaign is really great and not repetitive. It has a better campaign than Destiny, Division, which doesn't have one, or Apex, which doesn't have one, or Overwatch, which doesn't have one. The multiplayer and in-game stuff in this game... Oh, sorry, the campaign is about 20 hours and is a story-driven 20 hours with little repetitiveness. And he must play a different game than me. That is worth the $60 easy. No one complains about paying for that other 5 to 10 hour game, and you get the multiplayer and in-game stuff in this game. If you like leveling up, getting loot, unlocking stuff, and watching numbers go up, then that's icing on the cake. Sure, that part may get repetitive, but so is Destiny, COD, and Overwatch. If it didn't have the excellent campaign, then I would be saying otherwise. But I heartily endorse getting the game, if not only for the campaign, but there are tons to do after the campaign, like iconic character-specific missions, faction quests, and other missions. As a package, it's amazing. I'm
I
glad
haven't
you love
played
it.
it, so I can't comment.
Yeah, I haven't played it either. But I will say that I'm just kind of waiting until the game is all fixed up and has enough like additional stuff. Because it's going to be a game that's going to be going for a couple of years, they said, right?
Oh yeah.
So
I'm sure.
why bother jumping in now when it's going to be like a much more polished experience a year from now?
I think
Yeah,
you could have ended
It's going to
that
be like
after the-
$10.
You could have added that after. You could have ended after the first sentence, Jay.
Yeah.
Why even bother?
Well, it's
all
harsh.
right. Well, Ken, you're
Yeah, I
not
love you.
reviewing the game. I am reviewing
I'm
the
not.
game.
Yes, you are.
I will give. You said Daryl.
Daryl and his other brother Daryl.
Okay. I'll give Daryl credit. I do think that the campaign missions are well done. And I think that those are most certainly okay. Apparently, Ryan does not agree with me. But God, I lost my train of thought after that. But
Funny as hell. I'm sorry. I was laughing. I was on mute.
the campaign missions are really good. But I will give it this. This game is buggy as all get out. I've had multiple glitches. I've fell through the environment a few times, that kind of thing. I know that they're trying to address those. I know they had a massive patch, 2 days ago?
Yeah, it had like 1,000 fixes, which if your game has 1,000 fixes, maybe it wasn't time to launch it.
Yeah, but I definitely see it getting a little repetitive, and I do play Overwatch, and I do say that Overwatch can be repetitive too.
Yeah, well, Overwatch's loop is fun, though, unlike Marvel's Avengers.
Well, a game of Overwatch will last you 5 minutes. This game will, you have to keep playing.
No, I don't. I deleted it.
Well, thanks for playing with me, Ken.
I'm just being the devil's dick. So.
Well, I think it's an okay game. I think that there's some superheroes that I don't like to play as, but yet I still feel like I'm forced to play as. Like, I don't really like playing as Iron Man.
No, he was my least favorite to play in the game when I was playing it.
To be honest with you, I feel like out of all the characters, I prefer Black Widow.
You and me both. She played the most fun. Sorry, that was a horrible sentence, by the way.
She plays like Batman.
Yeah.
And I really like that.
But Drew, does it make it feel like the Black Widow when you're playing?
I don't feel like any of these characters when I play because they've all got like these gear items that don't do anything, and
Yeah.
And the Hulk punches somebody and like 12 numbers come off of him, and you got to hit him like 16 more times before the Hulk beats down this like 2-foot tall robot. So I don't really feel like the Hulk either.
Well, I mean, I'm not worried about feeling like these superheroes. I mean, I get it; it's a video game.
I know.
But I don't know. It just, in some instances, I feel overwhelmed while playing that game. It's just there's so much to do. There's so much things to keep track of. And I feel like the gear, most of it is, it feels a lot like 5-year-old Diablo, where if you start a new game in Diablo 5 years after it launched, it's all like, I don't care about anything I pick up until I get to the end game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what the Avengers feels like. I don't care about any of this as long as the number goes up. And it's just like, but then they force you to min-max halfway through the game. Because I like when you first take over as Iron Man, he's like underleveled. And so you have to start paying attention to your gear and powering it up. And I'm like, I don't want to power up this gear because I'm going to throw it away in a little while. And that's really annoying. But I have to level it up because, well, I'm getting my ass kicked. I don't know. I feel like it definitely has that Destiny vibe to it. And a beat 'em up, I feel like.
Yeah,
I think it's an okay game. I'll put it that way. I would say anybody out there who is like, hey, I kind of want to play this game, but I don't know about it right now. You can wait a year, probably get it at a nice discount, and probably have a better game on your hands.
That's my plan. Yep.
Yep.
I'm not in a hurry to play this game. Honestly, I'm going to be playing Miles Morales when it comes out, and that'll be my superhero fix, at least for a while. From a combat angle, I think that game will probably play a lot better because Spider-Man played really well, so I can't imagine it being any worse than regular Spider-Man. So I'll get my fix on that
Basically
one.
the same game.
With different powers and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, this feels Avengers definitely feels a little bit like a button masher. It is kind of like, you kind of stick to the enemies at times. So like if you just punch in the direction of an enemy, you kind of like slide to them kind of thing and hit them.
It doesn't feel as good as Batman, though.
Well, Batman's a different combat system.
Yeah, but you still slide to enemies. Like, Batman looks like he's on roller skates when you're doing combat.
It does get kind of ridiculous in Batman sometimes.
Yeah.
Batman is all about hitting one guy and then hitting a different guy, then hitting a different guy. This game is more like getting to a guy, beating him to a pulp, then going to the next guy. It's not really about the free flow stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There is some there. Like and when you do pull it off, like the dodges and stuff like that, they do feel really cool. Avengers is that's the best way I can put it. I haven't wrote my review. I want to get to the end before I write my review, and I haven't really had much time to. I mean, work's been crazy, but I think it's an okay game. That's the best way I can put it. I don't know what I'm going to give it yet.
It's an okay game that's probably going to get better in the long run.
Exactly.
I'll be very interested. Yeah, I'll be very interested to boot this game up on my Series X come next summer.
Exactly. All the more reason to check it out with higher fidelity frame rates and all that stuff. And frame rates really matter for beat 'em up games like these. Make them feel more responsive. They can do cooler stuff. So generally speaking, it just might be a good idea. They're locked to 30 on the consoles, right?
On the Pro consoles, you can unlock it to 60, but it never holds.
I do not suggest that at all.
Yeah, the fluctuation drops too much for it to feel good.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
All right. Next email comes from Jeremy. Says the new price watch. Hey guys, hope you gents had a good week. So we finally know the price of the consoles. With all of that out in the open, I am left with a bad feeling that expandable SSDs are going to be friggin' spendy.
Oh yes.
I saw a video about Xbox cards costing $200 plus for 1 terabyte.
Oof.
Don't believe any videos right now because people don't know, they're speculating. But they're not going to be cheap. So
For
yeah,
sure.
they're going to be over 100 for sure for a terabyte for one of their things.
yep, I would almost guess like a 129 price tag for that 1 terabyte Seagate expansion card.
I've
That'd be
got
like
a
fair
terabyte.
price. Uh-huh.
I've got a regular terabyte like external drive that I have no problem hooking up to my Series X and worrying about loading times. I don't care.
We'll see.
Man.
We'll see what happens when this comes out.
Whenever, as much as I adore Monster Hunter, like I want to stop playing it on PS4 because of those goddamn load times. If I could get back all the load times of all the gaming that I had in my past life, I'd be like 2 years younger right now. You know what I mean? Like I'm just sitting there during those 1, 2, 3 minute load times, hundreds, thousands of times, and they really add up. They break up the pacing of the game. If you're gonna buy a new console, I would definitely not sacrifice that experience just for convenience sake because I want it. That's one of the biggest things that's going for me. Not the prettier graphics, not the better frame rates, the load times. That's what matters most for me on this generation.
I agree with that 100%.
I have
I don't think it bothers me.
I have a 500 gig SSD on my Xbox that I put all of my frequently played games on.
Yeah, which is, and I know we talked about this last week, but that's the reason why Ghost of Tsushima feels like such a freaking wizardry this generation, because there's no load times.
No,
yeah,
there's none.
Very, very minimal if there is any.
Yeah. He says, IHOPs. This is addressed before. I hope. I'm assuming is what he meant to say, but it came out.
So you make me hungry for pancakes here.
I hope this is addressed before launch, but I've decided to hang back for around 6 months or so before jumping into next gen.
Yeah,
always
honestly,
a good plan.
Yeah, that's the smartest thing you can do, unless you have a very specific reason why you're buying it. For me, my PS4 disc drive has kind of been broken for a while, and I've been looking to upgrade for a long time. That's the reason. If my PS4 Pro disc drive was fine, I probably would not buy it on day one, although Demon's Souls probably would have convinced me by now that I wanted one. But we all have our reasons, and if you don't have a specific reason, you don't have to be one of the first people. You're taking all the risk with very little gain.
Yeah.
Yep.
I always post that video of don't buy a console at launch. It still holds true now.
Yep. Antonio sends an email, says Cross 4 Gen podcast. So here's my thinking in regards to Amazon PS5 pre-orders. This can also include other retailers, by the way. Common sense tells me that if they open up more spots for pre-orders, then that should be an indicator that they knew they will be getting enough to fill the previous pre-orders they got. Anyways, when I saw the Ragnarok tease that set the game for 2021, I immediately scoffed at it a bit, but then I was reminded, no spoilers by the way, that in the documentary about the game, Cory Barlog noted that he had so many ideas that couldn't be implemented into the game, and that they didn't waste time going into production for the next game. There are travel points in the game you straight up cannot go to, so it's obvious it's meant for the next iteration. It also leads me to believe that it will be a cross-generation. The meltdowns will be a sight to behold. And one last thing, Jim Ryan sucks. Okay.
I don't know who Jim Ryan is.
He's the head of Sony. He's the guy that's been lying about all this shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's the one that made the comment, we believe in generations.
Oh.
Sure you do.
He believes in it somewhat later. Don't worry about it.
I think he believes in money more, which is
I mean,
where you should be.
All these CEOs and presidents, they believe in money the most out of anything else, which is fine. I don't mind, but it'd be nice if they're more transparent about the things that they're doing.
Yep. All right, I got a few tweets. Drew, you still sticking around, or you got to go?
Yeah, let's get them done.
All right, tweets. First one comes from Real Shogun Beats. He says, I missed the tweet. This is from last week. Just wanted to say, wow, Microsoft has a great return policy. I played Avengers for hours. I just don't like the game, and yet they gave me back full credit. Can't wait for the 22nd. They will get my money again.
Nice. That's always good. It's one of those things where if you have good customer service and practices, it really goes a long way to kind of fostering brand loyalty in that way. And if they do right by their consumers, then they deserve it, right? So it's nice. It's nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that these retailers are getting better at digital returns, because it's a hard thing to know that if you pre-order something that you're just kind of stuck with it.
Yep.
Andy writes in and says, listening to the 2018 podcast for Game of the Year because I'm looking for a good PC game to play. Drew, shit on me for still playing Destiny.
Yeah, Andy, he's a coworker of mine, and he played a lot of Destiny back in those days, and I told him he was wasting his time.
Oh, that's funny. Lanka Man says, "Hello, gents. Trust all is well and dandy with you and your loved ones. Been crazy busy and playing catch up on your podcasts. Loving Game Pass as I have been trying out and loving a lot of games I never would have played before. For the first time ever, I'm not in any hurry to purchase a next-gen console. Yes, it's exciting. Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing the true potential of these machines, but I just don't feel the need or urge to purchase either of them for a while. Feels weird."
Yeah, I'm honestly feeling the same way. I'm going to attempt to get a Series X on Tuesday, but if I can't, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it.
Yep. He says, "Stay safe and eagerly anticipating your views and reviews over the next few months. Thanks again for the commitment to the podcast. Nice to have that constant during this crazy times in our lives. All the best from across the pond." Dustin writes in, Anthony's not here, so 2021 is going to be an amazing year for gaming. I can't wait. PS5 has one of the best launch lineups in recent memory. One of my favorite games of all time, Demon's Souls, is reason enough for me to get one day one. Plus, Spider-Man and Godfall will be fun to play at launch too. Oh, cool! He's coming after me. I find it hilarious that Ken preached for months about only getting a Series X at launch, and then whined on Twitter about his pre-order woes when it came to PS5. I thought it was a waste of $500 just to play Spider-Man, and you don't even need one since it's coming to PS4. You're right, and fuck off. Why doesn't Tony have a Switch yet? Seriously. He's not here, so I don't know. Started Last of Us 2 last night. I wonder what side of the fence I'll land on since my friends seem split on it's a masterpiece or a POS. I've never heard anybody call it a POS.
I've heard people call it a piece of shit, but the thing about it is that like I don't think you have to be one or the other. I'm very kind of in the middle. There are things about that game that I really like and enjoyed. There are things about that game that I did not enjoy. It's just I don't. It's not a love it or hate it game. You can be in the middle. It's a misconception.
Yeah, I think people who called it a piece of shit are just people who were angry at the game because I didn't like the game, but I think it's not a piece of shit. Not even close. It's a very high quality video game.
It's ridiculously polished for what it is.
Yeah, I just didn't like its pacing and its storyline, but as a video game, that thing is a fucking masterpiece. Played through Adventure of Mana on the Mana Collection, and that's a fantastic action RPG for Game Boy, probably in my top 10 Game Boy games now. So should I keep my Cyberpunk pre-order for my Xbox One X or wait for the PS5 version? Wherever you want to play it.
Well, I mean,
there's not a version.
It's just the game, and it gets upgraded or whatever.
Yeah, and it's not getting upgraded until next year sometime.
Yep, that is true.
So it
will work on PS5 and Series X, but it won't be like enhanced until next year.
Yeah, it's a Cyberpunk is a PS4/Xbox One game that is getting a next gen upgrade sometime next year for free.
Yeah, for both consoles, right?
Yes, and will work on both consoles, backwards compatible at launch, but it is not a PS5 or Xbox Series X game.
Right.
I was about to say, because I looked at the recommended specs for PC. Shoot, my 2016 PC can run it.
Yeah, it'll run on a 780, right?
It'll run. No, I mean, I know that they mentioned a 1060.
I thought 780 was like the low of the low specs.
It is the low, but the recommended was a 1060, and I've got that.
No, there you go.
Yeah.
The good thing about CD Projekt Red is they always do a really good job at making their stuff just work.
Witcher 3 on launch was a little shaky with some of the bugs.
Sure,
but they got it ironed out within like a day, which was pretty
that's
crazy.
the thing is like they'll fix it quick. CD Projekt Red is probably, if you want to use that word, the most like consumer friendly developer out there.
One of the if there's no arguing. One of the reasons why I did my pre-order for Cyberpunk on GOG so that they get most of the money.
Yeah. I honestly think Final Fantasy VII Part 2 is spring 2023 by the latest. So is 16, which I'm super excited for. Going to be fall 2021 or fall 2022.
Probably 2022 based on Square Enix just being really slow with everything.
I think if you don't put Final Fantasy VII Part 2 out until 2023, fuck off.
Yeah, that's a major mistake.
3 years after Part 1, which Part 1 is what, 10% of that fucking game? I mean,
It's more than 10%, but yeah.
by that logic, that game is not going to be finished until 2040.
Possibly.
What's the fucking point?
They haven't gone to say definitively how many parts it's gonna be, right?
Yeah, but you finished the first one, right? That's
I did.
nothing of the game. Literally nothing of that game.
Midgar? It's like
It's
1/4 of the game.
no.
Midgar, yeah.
No. Midgar was super short.
Midgar usually only took you about 6 hours.
Yeah, and that game was like 80 plus just to finish. That ain't a quarter of that game. No fucking way in hell, Jay.
One day I'll have to replay Final Fantasy VII to remember. It's been
Final
a long
Fantasy
time.
VII, the original Midgar,
You
is something.
even went into the past and found out, what Sephiroth was really doing.
Yeah, there's Midgar is a very tiny portion of that original game.
Yeah.
Right, but we also saw that the story is not going exactly the way it did in the original.
No, it's not,
even
but they're
close by
also
the end of it.
expanding the story.
They're expanding sections, but there are locations that they could safely cut out without any real drawbacks, as long as they're doing things other way. But anyway, I don't really know what's going to happen with that game. All I can say is that I really enjoyed the first part of Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I want to play the rest. As far as the timing, I just want to be realistic here. They always take their sweet time with these games, so I don't expect them anytime soon, and that's fine with me. I'll play them when they arrive in like 2-3 years from now, whatever.
I'm going to continue on with Dustin, but I'll go back to David's tweet. He says, not a huge Harry Potter fan, but that game looks fun.
That game did look kind of interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a Harry Potter guy either, but I thought it looked interesting. Man, you guys really like Taco Bell.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, Taco Bell's pretty great.
Of course, this isn't a positive tweet. I think 90% of that menu is garbage. I'll only eat a cheesy gordita crunch or Crunchwrap Supreme, which is damn near the same thing. Also, White Castle is easily the worst fast food. I'd rather eat McDonald's for a year. Blah.
I don't have White Castle often, but I don't hate it.
I love White Castle.
Yeah.
I will actually agree with him there. White Castle to me is the absolute worst fast food. I get it. I know a lot of people love it, but
I think you're the absolute worst fast food.
I might be, Ryan. I might be.
Yeah, there's a local sliders joint around in Jersey that I go to. I think it's like White Manna, it's called. And they're like White Castle, but better in every way because they just kind of use fresher ingredients and the burgers taste better. But anyway, that's generally where I go for sliders.
I think, and Wombat, you might know because I won't go there because it's like White Castle, but the talk around here is there's a local place that is supposed to have like the best sliders, and that's the Hamburger Wagon.
I've never been there.
People swear by that place. It's near my house. Like I drive past it almost on a weekly basis, and like there's always a massive line. It's literally a little cart where they set up shop during the day. Apparently it's super famous. Like I've seen it in like those Google lists and things. But it's literally just one cart that runs in downtown Miamisburg, and they sell like slider onion-based burgers, and people just fucking love them. So.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, give it a shot at some point if you're able.
I'm gonna have to.
I don't like onions, so I can't eat there.
Okay.
I will give it a shot and report back at some point.
You should.
Right.
Jason,
Miamisburg.
Yeah, Jason absolutely loves it. Like I saw him standing there several times when I drive past.
Nice.
So he absolutely loves it, and there's always a line. So.
Where is it at in Miamisburg?
It's in downtown. It's in like that little like old time. You know where Ron's Pizza is in downtown?
Yep, I do.
Yeah, it's right across the street in that little like weird circle turn.
All right.
Yeah, it's right there.
For it.
Yep.
Man,
you gotta find it on. You gotta find it when it's open. It's only there. Like they move the cart when they're closed. So like they literally roll it in, open up shop, and then roll it out.
Interesting.
You guys honestly think Crystal Dynamics would be axed if Avengers fails? I think they would have to fail a couple more times. 343, on the other hand, I honestly don't see much of a future for them.
Really?
Yeah, I'm really nervous for the future of 343 if this Halo game doesn't work out.
Yeah, if this Halo game flops, 343's fucking done, man.
Has any of the Halo games ever flopped? I mean, like they might not have been critically, received well as the other games, but I think they all sell pretty well, don't they?
They sell, but the problem is you're ruining consumer trust when the last two games you've put out
Yeah.
have not been very good.
And Jay, selling doesn't mean anything anymore because they're all on Game Pass.
That's true. You're right, Ryan. Damn, I didn't even think about that. These first-party games coming to Game Pass.
Yep. And the fact that people talk about Halo and they haven't talked positively about Halo since, Bungie stopped making it, so
Right. Kind of like how Gears is kind of trying to turn things around with Gears Tactics and Gears 5 after the Judgment and 4 not being as good. So hopefully they'll turn things around with Halo too, because, as much as I've kind of fallen off the radar for Halo, but it's one of those series that I really started out with and I really enjoyed at the beginning of it. So, yeah.
I think I
hope
would
so.
really still enjoy it if 4 and 5 were actually the same quality as the first, 3 games.
Yeah, that's true.
He says, kind of glad I'm not a big PC guy since those graphic cards were harder to find than a PS5.
Well, I already told my story, so no need to go any further on that one.
I hope RE8 has VR support.
I hear that it will, but I'm not sure if that's confirmed or it's just a rumor.
I'm really excited for Minecraft VR. I know that's supposed to happen this month. Minecraft PSVR, I should say. I know that's supposed to happen this month, but
Okay.
I'm very interested to see how that works out. I have a VR, but I don't think I own Minecraft on the PS4.
Man,
Don't think I do.
with how much moving around you do in Minecraft, I think that might be a nightmare for motion sickness.
yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's had VR on PC for a long time, I think. So
The last time I booted up Minecraft was to check out ray tracing because I didn't know that I had ray tracing on my video card, but I do.
Mhm.
I just thought the RTX was a brand name.
It kind of seems like a GTX. What does GTX even mean, right?
Yeah,
So
I
you
don't
figure it's just a
know.
brand.
Yeah, I
it's
thought
RTX.
I looked at my video card in my GeForce profile and it's like you have a 2060 RTX. I'm like, cool. Or no, wait, is it 2070? I have a 2070 RTX. I was like, cool. That must be a cool brand. I was like, oh shit, it's got ray tracing. Fuck, I'm gonna boot up Minecraft.
Yeah, first gen ray tracing is a bit rough, but it gets the job done.
It gave me a sense of what it's going to look like, and I thought that was cool. So, I think I'm going to wait on a Series X whenever it goes on sale or has a great package deal. When do you think that will be? I already have Game Pass, so it would need to be a game or a good discount.
That now that I think about it, you know how they have those bundles for the Xboxes when like a big first party game comes out, like a new Forza or a new Halo. But since those games are going to be on Game Pass, are they even going to do those launch bundles anymore?
I doubt it. I think you're more likely to see here's Xbox Series X with 6 months of Game Pass.
But
And it's Halo themed or something, like it's got Master Chief on the fucking disc drive or something. I don't know.
yeah, I guess.
I think if you put 6 months of Game Pass in there, you're basically giving people 350 games for 6 months. So that's kind of better than bundling in one game, right?
Well, from the value perspective, but I think a lot of people will think like, well, it doesn't actually come with any games that you technically own, so it might be a deal breaker for some that don't really know the value of Game Pass yet.
I mean, it's possible, but let's be fair. If you're going digital, you don't own your fucking games anyway, so.
That's true enough. As I stare at my 1,500 Steam games, it's like I don't own any of these.
I got you beat. I just broke 2K on my Xbox. I have 2010 Xbox games.
Wow, just on your Xbox. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, just on Xbox. I forget what my PlayStation library's at. It doesn't count them, I don't think.
Yeah, I couldn't find a way to actually count like my library of games just by numbers. I'd have to scroll through them manually, and I'm not about to do that.
Xbox is nice because when you go into like the game section, it shows you like there are 84 games available for EA Play. There are 2,000 games in your library. I like that. I like numbers. Numbers are cool.
Yeah, I like to watch them go up. It's nice.
Yep. His last tweet and.
If you like numbers, Ken, you ought to love the Avengers. Numbers flying all over the place.
I can't tell when the numbers go up, and when they do, I don't feel like it really made a difference. So, his last tweet just says RIP RGB. I'm assuming he was trying to say RBG for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. But instead, he said R.I.P. to red, green, blue cables. No, definitely
Interesting.
Definitely
Okay.
definitely a weird weekend of
Yeah.
stuff. But
Yeah. I don't want to get political, but I was
no,
definitely shocked and really, really sad about the death as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
she did a lot of good for a lot of people. So
She did. She did.
back to David's tweet. He says, "I'm so excited for November and still wondering if I will get the Xbox Series X. One of the things as an adult that brings me that childlike joy, other than sitting in the theater watching a Marvel movie."
Video games are great, y'all. And
Video games are great, y'all.
Video
yeah,
games are real
and it's
fucking
gonna
good.
keep getting crazier and better and everything. So hold on to your butts.
I'm ready,
Because
baby.
we're
I
going
can't.
next gen.
I can't wait. I love so like this weekend I went out and did what might be my final yard work. And just seeing leaves changing colors and the cool brisk air, I'm like, yep, it's coming. Fall. It's beautiful. I love fall.
Yeah.
It was nice and cold Saturday morning when I got up to do my yard work, and I was like, yes. Yes. My air conditioner's not running, my windows are open.
Less
I love
bugs
this.
around, mosquitoes. Yes.
Yeah, the bugs are gone. You know, it's love this time of year, and it's always coincided with new video game consoles, and it in the year that is 2020.
Mm-hmm.
God, I need this fall.
Yeah. You know, the thing about it is that, like, I looked at a lot of my purchases, like my ultra wide monitor, my attempt to get the video card, buying the PS5, and I realized like I don't particularly need any of these things, but I just want them. They'll make me feel a little better. They'll give me something to look forward to when we're all kind of in this state where we're all just kind of trying to struggle to fight off like some manner or some semblance of depression in varying degrees. So it's just nice to just have something you can look forward to. Now I'm definitely looking forward to November 12th, where hopefully I'll get my PS5 in within the next day or two, and hopefully I can get my graphics card and do all these other things because you gotta
Yeah,
keep your spirits up, man. That's on
we
you.
For sure.
we all need it right now.
Mhm.
I was talking to my wife about that last night because she wasn't feeling great, and I was like, everything that happens to you right now is like multiplied by like 1,000.
Seriously, yeah,
Like
it's just
it's a bear. And like even me, who is normally very stable, I've had bouts of depression this year. It's rough. And I'm totally gonna get on Amazon and order a zip up fucking jammy one to feety pajamas.
You know what you need to buy? I'm telling you, is a comfy. It's just called
Is that like
comfy.
feety pajamas?
No, it's called Comfy, COMFY, and it's a super oversized sweat that is like fluffy on the inside and big enough that you can like pull your knees up into it if you needed to. And I'm telling you, it's amazing.
I'm looking at it right now, and there's this video of these people dancing in the comfies.
I'm telling you, it's fantastic.
I just want to buy a onesie feety pajamas so when I get my Xbox and my PS5, I can literally like sit on the floor like a little kid and open them up. I feel like I need that for my mental well-being this year.
I might get one of these comfies for winter.
I'm telling you, man. They're amazing. Yeah. And your hands are free for gaming. It's perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be at my desk doing work most of the time anyway. If, might as well not turn up the heat, wear one of these, and just get comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to have a blanket or anything. It's just...
I mean, these all sound like wonderful ideas, and I'm so ready for that time of year. I'm so ready for this nightmare that is 2020 to be over. And it's not like I think the world's going to change on January 1st, 2021, but you need some sort of mental semblance that this thing has passed.
Yeah. I agree with you there. It's been hitting hard for everyone, and who would have thought, man? Like if you told me in like January or February of this year that this is what we're gonna be doing for the rest of this year and possibly going into the next year, I've been like, no, get out of town. That's never gonna happen.
In the 40 years I've been on this planet, I've never seen anything like this, and I probably never will again. Anyway, let's wrap up with Peter. Peter sends some tweets in. He says, I was just wondering if you guys know anything about the Watch Dogs Legion multiplayer. Watch Dogs 2 was fantastic. Was pretty unique and fun. I do not.
I've not seen anything for Legion except for that one trailer where they kept hopping back between characters. Did they release a lot more details since then?
I mean, they've shown the game a lot about the things you can do, but it's all been single-player stuff. They haven't really talked about the multiplayer at all, so... I don't know. I am more and more intrigued by that game by the day, and it will definitely be something that I will probably hold off until the Series X and play it there. So.
Right. Watch Dogs 2 was a really big step up from Watch Dogs 1. So if they have a similar step up for Legion, I think it's going to be a very good game.
Yep. And finally, he says, give me Prototype 3 on the new Series X.
Ooh. With all that destruction, instantaneous, no loading, that'd be pretty sweet for a prototype kind of game.
And, you know, the famous line, I fucking hate computers.
That was Prototype 2, right?
That was Prototype 2, yeah, where he smashed the computers. I fucking hate computers. God damn, those games. Those games were fun. They kind of played bad. Like, the control wasn't great. Mm-hmm. But they were fine. I mean, we got those... I'm using finger quotes, remasters on the current gen consoles, but yeah, I'd be down for a new Prototype, but it's Activision, so I wouldn't count on it. Truthfully.
Yep, I wouldn't count on it either.
Anyway, that's all the tweets. If you want to tweet at us, at N4G Podcast. If you want to follow us on Twitter, Ryan is at WombatRP. Jay is at BotositeJ. I am at ZTGD, and you can follow the site at ZTGD Content. Check out Drew's playthrough of God of War on Phoenix Down. I believe they're getting close to finishing it, finally. It's only taken 2 years for Drew to play God of War. But that hopefully will be back on track this week. Next week, we'll get back to talking about games. I know there were some big releases this week. Super Mario 3D All-Stars. I played WWE Battlegrounds, which, by the way, Ryan, you totally missed out on that. That game is super fun.
I believe it.
Wow, I'm shocked at how fun it is. But yeah, lots of games coming out. We'll probably talk about Mafia next week. But yeah, it's an exciting time. And if you want to shoot us an email, it's podcasts@ztgd.com. But other than that, I don't think I have anything else. I think I might go get some food, watch some football.
I'm hungry after talking about all those sliders, man. Oof.
I mean, that's every week we do the same shit where the last half hour of the show is people talking about how hungry they are.
I know.
Hungry.
Eh.
So I'm going to go do that. I'm going to watch some football. I'm going to enjoy the cool, brisk air outside and realize that it's only 52 days until next gen starts.
Yep.
We're almost there.
Exciting. But unless anybody has anything else, we're going to get out of here. Peace, Bertrand.
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.
Epic fail. Welcome to the N4G Podcast. Zero tolerance.
This is going to be a very interesting episode.
Gather time.
Greetings, programs. I got lost trying to find my way to the secret underground N4G Radio lair.
The Wombat. And
I always live being angry.
Killer Wolverine. Play games, not consoles. No fanboys allowed.
And then I killed the dragon. 8.0.